All right guys, get the Xpeak here. Thing's upside down, it's ready to go. I pulled the battery out of it. First thing you want to do is pull the battery out because we're going to be playing with all the wires in here. We don't need anything short now. Plus, we need access to this hole here because this piece where the battery connects in is going to have to come out because the controller's in back here. It's going to slide down. We're going to have to clip the tie wraps here. We're going to have to disconnect the motor. We're going to have to disconnect the tail light so that this controller has enough room to go forward. We're going to be bringing some wires in here. I'm going to try to slip a battery balancer in here too. It's pretty tight in here. I've already been in here because I changed the controller once, if you remember. So this is the battery balancer here that you need to put this thing in here. This will allow you to have two batteries. So these are pretty, one wire will go to the motor, one wire will go to the other two wires go to the battery. It's pretty simple. Well, this goes to, not the motor, it goes to the controller. So these two go to the battery. So now you have two batteries. It's pretty easy. If you want to add a third battery on, you have to add another one of these. If you want to add a fourth battery, you have to add another one of these also. So I am probably going to be running two extra batteries on top of it. So I'd probably have three controllers at the same time. If I was going to run my auxiliary packs on this bike, like I said, 99% of the time won't be running those. Just going to have this battery on the tube here. It'll give me 30 amp hours of power. All right guys, this is the battery that I'm putting on. This is the 14.4 amp hour battery that you get extended life from Lectric. I've got two bikes over there that already run it. Now I'm going to have a third bike that has it on it too. So this battery, like I said, is going to mount up on here like this. And once we get it all done, we'll look at it. It's going to look nice. I had to pick up a slide for this. And this is the slide for the battery here. They are available online to get, not through Lectric. They won't sell them. This one here, I did have a friend that had a Lectric bike that was being parted out, and I got it off of him. But you can buy these on a third party. Anybody got questions about this? Leave me a comment or check my email. It's in the it's actually in my description. Go in there, my email's in there. I don't want to leave a bunch of links for all this stuff. It's a pain in the neck. I'll give you guys all the links you want. Just email me and I'll let you know what everything is. So it's a lot easier for me to do that than to try to post all these links, and then people got questions anyway. So like I said, if you want a parts lift, don't mind giving it to you. Just hit me up on an email, leave it in the comments or something, but I can't leave too much in the comments, so it's much better to email me with the questions and stuff. So, all right, we're gonna get started on this now. All right, guys, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take these screws out of here, and then we're gonna have to clip these wires, disconnect that, but we'll take the screws out first. There's 3 screws in here that need to come out in this plate. I'll show you what the plate is when I'm done. Got 1 screw here, and got my little magnetic tray over there. Like I said, I had to pull this thing out anyways for the controller, so I've already been in here once, and it helped going in there before I ordered the parts, because at least I knew what I needed and how much room I had. Like I said, I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to get that battery balancer in there, and if I can't, I'll put it externally. I actually, I'll show you what I bought here. I actually bought this is a little tool bag that would hang under your seat. I could house everything in this if I needed to. That's why I picked it up. If not, maybe I'll use it for a tool bag, or that other bike over there is going to get a battery. Maybe we'll use it on that one too. So, taking out the last screw here, and then this piece is going to come right out. These things always have a bunch of connectors on them. And so you look at it and you go, well, I need a battery or whatever that's got 6 connectors on it. Yeah, there's never 6 connectors, wires used on it. So there's the piece that we just took out. The controller's back here, but we're going to have to get these wires cut. Not the wires, the wire ties. So be careful of your wires. Now we've got to disconnect these. If they don't come apart, put a little bit of heat to them with a hairdryer or something, they come right apart. This one is a threaded one. They used to be the same fitting, but then they were kind of a pain in the neck. So we've also got wires that come from the handlebars down in here too. So we've got to like feed the wires in here if we have to get it going. Seems to be coming down though. And it's down now. Here's your controller, guys. So what I'm gonna do is I've got to get another wire in here because I'm going to be running it up there, and then I've got to see if I can stick the I want to show you this too. So a lot of people ask, you know, you got to put a light in or something, and the light's too big for the controller sets a code and stuff, and you know, everybody thinks they're stuck in the controller world here. But you can actually buy these things here that have a wire coming off them that are already made up, and you can put these in with your wires here. Now you've got a connection coming off, so you'd connect this here up through it, and you've got your 48 volts sitting on this wire here. And a lot of, like I said, a lot of these lights come 48 volts and higher. I bought a light. It actually works on this bike. I'll show you, it's a super bright light, and it didn't set a code yet, but I haven't put it on there for too long, but I did let it run for like 5 minutes and it worked great, so. But that way there, you could run a light that you normally couldn't run. That's how you get more voltage off these things easily without cutting wires or anything. Everything I'm showing you today is plug and play, so it's very easy to do. No soldering or anything that I've had to do in the past. And that's all because they put this XT60 connector on there. Help us right out, guys. Because we got to bring this wire up from the bottom of the bike, which is actually the top. But it's going right in here, so this wire has to come through here and up here, and then, all right guys, so this wire is going to go down in this tube here. Hopefully I can get to it. Yeah, came right through. So then we got to attach one of these wires to it. And that's done. Then this one goes to there, and this one's going to go to the battery when it's done. So now we've got to get all these wires back up in here. Well, we got to get the controller back up in here is what we got to get. So I got to make sure these wires are long enough and not trapped in here. That one's long enough. That one's long enough. We're going to have to neaten all that wiring up when we're done. It's got to look better than what was already on it, let's put it that way. Well, that one's in there. All right, that's done. I'm going to try to take some of the slack out of these wires, so that they're not all hanging out like the way the factory had put them in. So we're going to reconnect the tail light, and reconnect the motor. Got to put our tie wraps on it. It's one tie wrap. Second tie wrap. Make sure everything is clearing. And let's try to tuck some of these wires in here too. I think I'm going to put a tie wrap down here. They didn't have one on there, but it'll hold all those wires together, and hopefully, I already think it looks better than it did when Lectric dropped it off here, so. I remember before this bike came out, we were all looking at it online going, I hope they do something with those wires. All right, guys, that's all the wiring's done here, and the rest of it's going to be pretty much plug and play. Yeah, it is. It's all plug and play, the whole thing. Like I said, it's going to be easy. We're going to flip the bike upside down now, and then we're going to put the battery on it. So we'll get that done. All right, guys, I'm going to take these two screws out. Not really going to put them through it. I'm actually going to tie wrap this thing on, but the screws are kind of in the way, so I figured I'd bring them out. I don't even know why these things are here. Probably if you weren't going to run the rack and the fender, you could probably put the tail light. This is probably where that goes, but I'm not 100% sure. But there's two screws here, so it actually helps snug this thing in there a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to put a tie wrap around that also. Might need a bigger one than this, but we'll find out. And it's going to be close. Now we got a battery port there. I'm going to put some cable management around that, but I got another wire going up there from the battery, so I'll wait on that. So now we got to mount this here on the down tube. I bought a piece of aluminum from Home Depot, and I cut it up. I'll show you what the aluminum looked like minus the piece I cut off. So Home Depot has, I believe this was 2" by 8" aluminum, 3 foot long. I think it cost me $15, something like that. And I'll show you what I cut off of it. I pre-made these brackets. It was just easier than sitting here drilling things out. So I painted in stuff because I don't want to be seen with the aluminum color. And I got the holes all drilled in it, so I'm ready to put that on. Just got to figure out what I'm doing here because it was a couple of days ago I did this. I'm actually going to put some two-sided tape on this because I don't want to damage the paint on it. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I got 3M two-sided tape here. Now I got to cut the centers out of these things. And then we'll pop it on the bike. And that's ready to go. I'm going to pull the two-sided tape off, well, the coating on it, so that it sticks to the down tube. I drilled another hole in the bottom of this thing, and there's a carriage bolt that I got going through it to hold the battery down on the bottom. Probably ought to check how big this is. Yep, that's just fine. Line up the holes. Let me explain something here. The holes I drilled the same size as these, so it goes around it and sits flush. So that's sitting there. This is going to go like this. So this is a double-walled tube in here so that the wires have a place to go down in and doesn't damage the battery. That's on there. I got to put a nut on the bottom here. Just got to figure out how I'm going to run this wire and make it look good is the problem. So, like I said, this thing here is an auxiliary port now for the battery. So I can plug this second battery in right here. And if I was going to run multiple batteries, I can plug those into there, like I said, and then go into some more of those battery balances. So, like I said too, guys, these little connectors here, I can also plug this thing in up top and have two wires to get, you know, power up here if I want to do that. That's why I didn't put one of these down there. I figured I could always do it up top here. And like I said, I've got this little pouch here that I could mount down in here, and everything could end up going right into this pouch, which would be accessible because it's got the little flap on it. So rather than using the wrap on this one where you would sit there and wrap it, I think I'm going to use this one here. This one expands from the side and you could slide the whole wire in it, so it's going to be easier because this thing's behind the tube. So just trying to make things easier for me. All right, so this battery slides in. Oh, there it is. So let's see. Bike's powered up with that battery alone. And I'm going to get the factory battery and stick it in it now. Now we got the factory battery here. That's in. Everything works. We got a dual battery bike right now. And that's it, guys. Like I said, piece of cake. We got 30 amp hours on this thing, and it's really easy to put a battery on this. Like I said, it's all plug and play. And again, I will take, if you send me an email, I'll give you a parts list if you want, and anything else I can do for you, just let me know through the email. It's a lot easier than trying to leave links and everything else. So that's it, guys. The battery's on this thing, and